Compton City Councilman is opening up about a deadly shooting that killed one of his brothers and left another hurt. KCAL9's Dave Lopez live at the scene in East Los Angeles, where he spoke to the councilman and his grieving mother. Dave?
Well, that councilman is Isaac Galvan. He is from the city of Compton, grew up here in the streets of East LA. Over my right shoulder, you see the balloons and some candles, a few flowers. That is the site where two of his brothers were wounded. One died from those gunshots. The other one is going to survive. He also made it very clear he does not agree with what detectives have told us, that this was a targeted shooting involving gangs.
You know, I want to forgive the shooters right away. I think I just need a little more prayer in order to do that. I believe at the end, when this is all said and done, not only am I going to forgive them, my mother's going to forgive them.
Isaac Galvan, a Compton City Councilman, his arm draped around his mother, talking about the death of one of his brothers, Larry Galvan, and the shooting of his other brother, Dennis. Both of them were shot while walking down the street in East LA, not far from their mother's house.
Larry's the one that would take me to the general hospital and go in the access, and he's gonna be missed. He comes every morning, brings me breakfast.
Esther Galvan, the mother, talking about her two sons. The councilman said that he did his best to include his brothers in his political life. This is a photo that was taken around Christmas time. Larry on the right, the one who was killed, and the younger brother, posing with Grammy award-winning star Kendrick Lamar.
We were all dealt a tough hand growing up. Raised by a single mother with 5 children, 4 boys. You know, my brothers were not bad kids. They still to this day are not. Even in his last moments, I don't think he was a bad kid.
They're just screaming my name, Vanessa, Vanessa.
A neighbor down the street who said she knows the two brothers told me she heard at least 5 gunshots, saw the brothers running. They actually went into her house for a while, and then both of them staggered outside and collapsed on the sidewalk.
Larry fell in my arms, and that's when I called an ambulance and was like, you know, keep breathing. He was like, I can't breathe.
My brothers were not gang members. They were, you know, they had their flaws, but I could assure you they were not gang members.
But of course, the detectives see it differently. They say that there is a gang affiliation. They wouldn't go into any details. And the brother who survived the gunshot wound had recently spent a short stint in the county jail. His brother said it was for something totally unrelated to gang activity. The mother grieving, the brother grieving, saying that they grew up in this tough neighborhood. He says his brothers were good people, and he still does not believe that there was a gang tie in this. Reporting live from outside the shooting here in East Los Angeles, Dave Lopez, KCAL9 News. Back to you.